So about a month ago, I brought you the story Babies Behind Bars. Bedford Hills Correctional Facility in Westchester, New York is one of the few prisons in the U.S. with a nursery on site. But this is a story about what's next. Where do the mothers and the infants go when they leave prison? So while some choose to go home, many choose to go to a community called Our Children. Our Children, who also runs the nursery at the Bedford Hills Correctional Facility, is a non-sectarian, not-for-profit community that helps mothers rebuild their lives post-incarceration. So to learn more about what that entails, I headed to Long Island City, New York to talk with Sister Tesa Fitzgerald, who founded it.
We give home and hospitality to about 70 to 80 families and their children to establish homes and program support, daycare, after school, anything that was a need to support the women in their efforts to rebuild their lives.
There is no time limit as to how long the women can stay.
And of course we have a house cat. So they try to make it as homey as possible.
There are, however, different levels of housing. For example, when the woman first leaves prison, she would go into a housing facility with more rules, such as communal dinners.
I could have went home, but I figured that it was time to change and to make some different decisions. And I knew if I went home that I would be tempted around some of the people and places that I was around prior.
These two were in the nursery together. Oh, you love her?
You know, not to bring out like an inner feminist in me, but a lot of these women are very dependent on males that aren't good influences. So they've never had friendships and females to say, that's not good for you. While I was there, I spoke with residents Stephanie and Sarah. So I got to talk to them a little bit and see where they live, where they work, and even meet their kids. One of them might be a future chaser.
That's great.
They're familiar, then they come out and then they know each other, you know?
Take a picture of mommy. Say hi. Who's that? You see Amy?
And the supportive system that Sister Tesa talks about is very apparent with the women. Both women were at Bedford Hills for drug-related charges, and after they were released, decided that this was the route that they wanted to go.
The help that I got when I came out of Bedford was overwhelming. I mean, there was really a lot of people there to support me. It was definitely something new.
And for a woman to rebuild her life here, it costs them about $25,000 to $30,000 annually. However, if they go back to prison, it costs the state around $60,000.
Right. It's a good investment.
Our recidivism rate up to this point in time is like 2%, 3%, and it typically revolves around a relapse.
No kidding.
Right, so if anything, it
So
shows you...
most of them are fine and move on.
Right, so if it goes to show you how important rehabilitation is, if anything, at a financial level. Since their start, they've helped around 10,000 families. It's kind of neat. You can see photos of their success stories all around the office.
Oh.